As a content creator, I'm becoming more aware of censorship. And of course, here in the US, we've got freedom of speech. And I think here in America, we're thinking political and political related speech and whether or not we're allowed to say it. I just watched a YouTube video about using compressed air to skin a sheep. And I thought that was interesting, but I was surprised that YouTube allowed it. I know, butchering animals is a pretty risky area. When you get close enough to the finished product, it's no different than a cooking show, really. But those earlier stages can be triggering, so YouTube might call that violence or something. It seems like TikTok doesn't like sharing ideas, really. They want to keep it very harmless. They like the funny dances, cooking tips and tricks, and of course selling the products. But as I was on TikTok for a while, the rules are bizarre and I don't really even understand them. Like the clown emoji is almost entirely censored on TikTok. I'm not sure why. One of the creators I like to follow, he talked about constitutional law and history. And that's it. And it was all factual. He had a lot of sources backed it up, but he kept getting strike after strike. He finally left TikTok. I don't think the Chinese government encourages that stuff. They don't want people thinking that strongly about things. I remember one story of a person who got in a lot of trouble in China. He said that most of that kung fu and martial arts stuff was fake. Some of it is obvious, like running upside down on the ceiling is obviously not real. And I think he went on to say that, it wouldn't be as useful in a fight, in a real fight. And he got in big trouble. They said that was anti-patriotic, Kung Fu is a historical treasure and a national treasure of China, and he shouldn't be speaking out against it. And he got, censored in a very severe way. And there are a couple of social media platforms now that are advertising their lack of censorship as a benefit. I haven't checked them out too much. A lot of them are mostly political in the beginning. And I'm not really interested in politics, so I haven't been on them very much. But I see some regular stuff is starting to appear on there. Homesteading stuff and other interests. So it'll be interesting to see what they grow into. But there's always going to be some things off limit. I don't want to upset anybody by talking about them now, but there are things you just can't talk about. I mean, there's illegal speech, and then there's just things that are so taboo, legal, but so taboo that, you're not allowed to talk about them. So it kind of hampers my creativity a little bit. I'll make some videos and film them and edit them, and then last minute decide, it's better I don't post that. For censorship and, upsetting people. And then also there's self-preservation too. Almost all of the bigger content creators get the cops called on them, frequently. Not all of them mention it back, do a video about it. But you can kind of read between the lines and see that that's true. Even harmless favorite content creators, there's always somebody with a grudge. A couple of them I can think is, I think his name is Sean Overton with Dust Ups. He's trying to green the desert in Texas. And he planted elephant grass, which is not allowed, so they called the cops on him. Nate Petrosky has said that the sheriff has stopped by a few times with complaints. And I see a few creators, they didn't mention any officials being called, but in one video they'll talk about their plans, and then a couple videos later they'll do a quick reversal and talk about doing everything right and really stress getting permits and stuff. You say, oh, I think I know what happened, reading between the lines there. In fact, this video itself is a lot longer than what I end up publishing. I always second guess myself and say, better not say that, and maybe I'll remove that too. So I guess I'm self-censoring. I'll get more comfortable with rambling and worrying less about saying the wrong thing. I see some of the most popular social media personalities are popular because they ramble and say some outrageous things. Just sharing a few thoughts this morning as I wait for the day to warm up. It was pretty cold this morning, a little bit of ice in the goat's water, so winter is coming.